The South African and African creative realm has really come to its own over the past few decades, so much so that the whole world is looking to Africa for inspiration, answers, and guidance. For this week's episode, we are coming to you from the creative hub of Maboneng to explore food, art, and design. We're speaking to visionaries and the thought leaders at the forefront of African creativity. I'm your host, Ayanda Tabete, and this is Africa Modern. Now, art is a universal language, and for local South African artist Lillian Gray, keeping the essence of fine art in today's modern art scene is very important. Her painted portraits contain strong messaging, which often mirrors what's happening in society. Her recent work features Afrofuturistic elements with a vibrancy of color. Let's check it out.
I love art. I believe that we were designed and created to create, to keep on creating, keep on evolving, and not be stagnant. My upbringing as a child was not conventional in any way. We grew up in the middle of nowhere in a very, very small town called Jacobsbaai in the West Coast. And at that stage, it wasn't a town at all. My dad was a visionary and he was a developer, so he wanted to establish a town. So from we were very small, he had this crazy dream that one day everybody was going to want to live in the West Coast. And he was right, but we all had to make it happen. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, and we grew up in this tiny, tiny house with no running water, no electricity, completely isolated from anything. And that kind of gave me a love for drawing, because I really had to start doing art to keep sane, because I'm an extrovert and I love people. I'm one of those lucky people that always knew what I wanted to do. Every single fiber in my body knew that I wanted to be an artist. I don't always think I had the guts. When I told my dad that I really wanted to go study art, I think he thought I was insane. And, you know, it's this whole doom and gloom story of you'll end up on the street, you won't have any money. My maths teacher was so disappointed in me, and he used to tell me, what are you going to do? Sit at the stop sign trying to sell paintings. And, you know, they really tried to push me to study other stuff. And I just said, no, I want to be an artist. I studied a lot of various stuff, but eventually my father and I came to the conclusion that if I study business and art, he'll allow me to study art. So I did both. I think my art has been on quite a big journey in these last 4 years. Last year, I did a lot of different faces and portraits in different colors. If I paint somebody in blue or in green, they start transcending race. And in a lot of places, they transcend gender as well. We're all just human. We're all just here on this earth to make this place a better planet. We all want the same things out of life. At the moment, I'm much more drawn to the 4th Industrial Revolution, and that started flowing into how do we blur the lines between bio and tech, and then I started flowing into Afrofuturism. What does it mean to be black or white in South Africa today? When I finished studying, I kind of got swept up into commercial art. I had this hectic art career, you know, as a commercial artist, doing stuff for graphic design and TV and visual comms and marketing strategy and all of that. And I really got swept up in that. When my husband and I got our children, I kind of went through like 3 or 4 au pairs. And eventually I walked in home early from a meeting, and this au pair was screaming at my daughter. And I just lost it. I was like, we don't raise our voices in this house. This is not how I want to raise my children. And literally that evening, I said to my husband, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to work from home. I'll raise them. And he said to me, are you insane? How are we going to make money? And I was like, I am going to paint. I'm just going to do what I was meant to do all this time and paint. And just be like 100% an artist that paints for myself. So I was actually sitting at home feeling quite depressed, and one of my best friends, Adele, rocked up with a bottle of red wine and a canvas, and she said to me, you're going to teach me how to paint like you. And I said to her, you are nuts. And she's like, you are going to. And she just kept on coming every Thursday night, paying me in wine. And eventually she started bringing other friends. And we started becoming this little group on a Thursday night, painting together. And after a few months, I was like, okay, you guys need to start paying me now. So then that became more formal. And now we've got 170 students.
Who's the man? Yay! Are you ready?
Working with children they're just epic. They're awesome, they're little geniuses walking around, and if you don't speak down to a child and you actually speak with them with expectation and belief, they really step up to the platform. What I really love about kids is their imagination, and I love telling stories. I love telling stories and sharing with them art history, telling them what is the story behind this picture, so they can really start asking the deeper questions of life. So let's just start here with a word. Let's just break this word down. Today I've got something very special planned for the children, and I'm really excited. I've made a game where they can roll a dice, and their artwork is really up to chance today, but they're going to be building an Afrofuturism portrait, which will be a lot of fun, and to see how every single one of them will end up with something completely different. I think what led me to teach Afrofuturism today is it is such an important topic. I feel like, yes, Afrofuturism started in America, but all eyes are on Africa at the moment for inspiration for Afrofuturism. And for me, a high value for me is empowerment. And I remembered walking out of watching Black Panther, just feeling like Wakanda everything, like we can really conquer the world. And I was thinking, how much more do the South African children not feel that resonance with the awesomeness and the vibrancy and what this continent has to offer. So today I really want to focus on Afrofuturism and show them that there is something, there's a design, there's an art movement that the world wants from us, and they're listening and they're looking at us for that.
Being African means that I'm a special person. I love our cultures.
I think African means to express yourself more often.
It means a lot being African.
Being African is great.
I try and make them remember what is the key message that they need to take away and how can they apply that in their own art. And then once they're done, I usually go around and I just help them finish it off and make sure the painting says exactly what they wanted it to say. I think people tend to look at South African art and, in the past they used to be like, oh, that's nice, where did you pick that up? That's a cute little souvenir from Africa. But I think right now our art is much more serious and we've got a lot to say. So the artists are really stepping up to the platform and really bringing something unique that the world wants. So I think artists, how it's evolved is we're much more brave, we're much more out there, much more saying what we need to say in our own African way. Being from South Africa and being African, is such a loaded term, and I think the past in South Africa has really made it hard for us to actually discuss these things. But a picture that works in my mind is Trevor Noah, jokingly says, he talks about the Oros in the bottle and the Oros in the glass. And I think by this time in South Africa, we're all the Oros in the glass. We've all been diluted. We've all got a little bit of everything inside of us by now. And I think it's awesome to say that we are African. I'm African. I'm from this country and it's a part of who I am. I think what makes us African is not the color of our skin, but our passion for our country and, the fact that we're all here to change it, make it better, and empower others. I think that's what it means to be truly South African.
Lillian is a true master of her craft, and what a pleasure it is to witness a glimpse of her world.